tell you a story. We're about to talk about the CIA and how they compromise video games. We're gonna try to make this early as possible. Try to make this quick as possible. We ain't gonna be here too long. Um, Got to work on finish up the rest of this music, rest of this hot videos for the fan page, and shit. And then get ready for work later. I mean, get ready for the premiere later. You already know it. Shouts out to Vonta. And then I get ready for work. But yeah, we're gonna try to knock this shit on out early. I know some people probably up. Shouts out. I think guys Wash Up might be up. In the Groove might be up. Charles might be up. I know everybody be up early. Take care of this business. You gotta get ready for work or get ready to run some errands. You already know what it is. I'm trying to knock this shit on out the way. Then get back to the music wise early. Take me a quick nap. You know what I'm saying? Try to knock the shit on out early. And then I got a couple videos. I'm gonna just play one first and then come back in a minute for another one. Today, Friday. Happy Friday, high day. Shouts out to everybody in your respective time zones. It is 7:32 in the morning over here in Detroit. 12:32 in the UK. 1:32 in the Netherlands. 6:32 in Cali. 4:32 no. 6:32 in Chicago. 4:32 in Cali. And 7:32 in Georgia, 7:32 in Jersey. Shout out to everybody, our respective time zones. Hope everybody having a cool day, cool afternoon, cool evening, and cool night. We need to talk about the CIA and video games.
And other U.S. and British intelligence agencies have considered online video games as potential tools for surveillance, communication, and gathering information. The CIA and other U.S. and British intelligence agencies have considered online video games as potential tools for surveillance, communication, and gathering information.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Here's the breakdown. Surveillance in virtual worlds in the 2000s, according to the documents released by Edward Snowden, agencies like the NSA and the GCHQ in the UK conducted surveillance in popular online games, particularly Second Life and World of Warcraft. Purpose of surveillance: intelligence agencies feared that territories or criminal networks could use the untraceable, secure, and encrypted communication channels within these games to plot attacks or transfer money. Infiltration efforts. Operatives created avatars, characters, and operated within these virtual environments to gather data, and in some cases attempted to recruit informants from the player base. Mm-hmm. Spyware and decoy applications. Leaked files, WikiLeaks Vault 7, have suggested that the CIA developed specialized tools designed to infect computers. Yep. So when I say that they fucking with my cell phone, they fucking with your computers too. So like, it don't matter if I had a cell phone or computer, they're going to fuck with my lives. They're going to fuck with all my social media accounts because I tell the truth and do my revolutionary shit. But anyway, some of these included decoy applications where a user might think they're running a simple game or application while the system is actually being compromised. Operation Fine Dining. The CIA reportedly used a system called Fine Dining that features various seemingly mundane apps, including games, to hide malicious code and exfiltrate data, according to material published by The Guardian and other outlets. Yep. The key context. Despite the efforts, documents did not show significant counterterrorism successes from these specific initiatives. Yeah, y'all just want to watch people. There was no successful motherfucking terrorist motherfucking shit in this gaming sector. Motherfuckers just want to play games and escape. The harsh reality of life. Anyway, game developer response. At the time of the reports in 2013, companies like Blizzard Entertainment stated that they were unaware of the surveillance taking place, says a report from the New York Times. Spycraft game. In a separate non-covert case in 1996, PC game Spycraft, the Great Game, was developed in cooperation with former CIA Director William Colby and former KGB Major General Oleg Kalugin, focusing on high-fidelity simulation. Woo! When y'all talk about simulation and shit, that goes to Metal Gear. But anyway, I digress.
Yep. Nah, nothing to it.
Some of the games you grew up playing were not the same private spaces you thought they were. Some of the people who paid for them were not the people named in the credits. Some of them weren't really games at all. They were something else entirely dressed up in a game's clothing. This is really what has changed. We have built a panopticon, but what sits at the top of it is a computer. That computer witnesses everything we do. Billions of dollars are spent spying on Americans, whether it's NSA or CIA or FBI. Imagine the data you've shared and all the hours you've spent gaming, then scaled it up to 3 billion people from every country on the planet, across the US, UK, all of Europe, China, Russia, Iran, and all this information that used to be ephemeral. Right? Where were you when you were 8 years old? You know, where were you? Where'd you go after you had a bad breakup? You know, who just
This is the highest amount of people that ever been in my motherfucking chat. 14, then went up to 17. Oh shit. But we only got 2 likes. If y'all coming in, hit the like button. Shouts out to everybody. This is the most ever been in my chat. Because my chat is revolutionary and shit. You know, like they don't really want to hear my shit. But like to see y'all people in here, let's get it.
language would you call after? All this information used to be ephemeral.
Yeah, 20 what?
Right? Like
Hit that like button.
would be gone. No one would remember it. But now these things are stored. Now these things are saved. But the real truth is, if mass surveillance were the only crime here, this would be a much shorter story. But it's also about changing the past and engineering the future, maybe permanently for all of us.
I think the military knows full well what it's doing, and I think their intent is to indoctrinate children at the youngest age.
And the twisted irony is that the very medium intelligence agencies are actively targeting is the same medium that's been warning us for decades.
What we propose to do is not to control content, but to create context.
The digital society furthers human flaws and selectively rewards development of convenient half-truths. That's from Metal Gear Solid 2, a game released in November 2001.
We're just talking about Metal Gear.
9/11. It describes a shadowy AI network called the Patriot that secretly filters what information reaches the public, which is not far from what the NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden revealed to the world years later. And then there's this prescient theory from Juice X, released in 2000. Some people just don't understand the dangers of indiscriminate surveillance. Need to be observed and understood is when satisfied by God. Now, we can implement the same functionality with data mining algorithms. Since then, gaming has evolved into a new frontier for intelligence operations and interventions, like when government intelligence operatives practically invaded World of Warcraft and Second Life.
Anyone playing the game World of Warcraft as druids, death knights, warlocks could also have another designation: surveillance targets. According to newly disclosed classified documents, the NSA
Salute,
and
Monkey
its British
Man.
counterpart have been infiltrating World of Warcraft, another online game called Second Life, and the Xbox Live console.
Oh yeah, we're talking about how the CIA infiltrated the video game sector to motherfucking spy on motherfuckers and to recruit motherfuckers. And this has been going back since 96. But shit started really flourishing in the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Like the CIA has their hand in a lot of video games that we know and love. Mostly Call of Duty games, mostly on the military type of side, but they infiltrate the fucking kids and teenage games also. You know, they just mentioned World of Warcraft and a game called Second Life. But they also covered like in the beginning, they is in the phone apps too. The phone apps and the small little games you play on that bitch. You may think that you're playing a regular game, but it's really CIA monitoring your activity. You know, and what's this shit I hear that they can put malware in your phone without you even fucking knowing? No one talks about this. No one talks about how everything we are possibly fucking doing could be monitored by the CIA. And if you don't fucking believe me, we're going to take it a step further. Go back to the movie Enemy of the State, starring Will Smith and Gene Hackman. The NSA was watching Will throughout the whole fucking movie till you realize, damn, they can watch me through tracking my fucking clothes. Then we go back to the early 2000s in real life, how the new clothes for the hood niggas with the tags on them, there was trackers. Then they start putting motherfuckers in categories. All right, if these niggas are wearing these type of clothes with these trackers, yeah, we know these the hood niggas and the drug dealers. Grab them. I watched that shit happen in my fucking hood, and it disturbed me. Salute, live, and learn. What's good? Yeah, remember the Citizens episode when they were singing, "Yep, join the Navy." Yep, putting the messaging in the fucking commercial. That shit is real life. And it don't even gotta be the fucking Navy. It could be a nice ass Carl's Jr. commercial. And your ass be like, I'm about to get up and grab me a goddamn burger. You feel me? It is that simple and that brainwashing. Why you think they advertise this shit so much? Shit. I'm watching motherfucking Spider-Man, and then I motherfucking see the Spider-Man commercial with the new toy. The first thing you do is run to your parents and be like, I want the Spider-Man toy. You feel me?
Actually, one fictitious scenario presented at a conference in which players in the game were talking about casting a fire spell, but really they were talking about setting off a bomb outside the White House. Eventually, there were so many government agents in World of Warcraft from so many different agencies that they kept bumping into each other. The NSA...
Yeah, so many agents in the World of Warcraft, y'all kept bumping into each other trying to find a bad guy. And y'all looking for a nigga to speak in secret code. Yeah, I'm about to do a fire spell on a motherfucking block. Oh, that means he about to do a fire spell on the White House. That means he about to bomb the White House. We got to look into what he's saying. This shit wild. Gotta watch this movie called They Live. Come on. What up, though, John? You know we all know about that movie. We all know about They Live. We all know about They Live. That's one of the best movies of all time. This is my top 5. Yep. Shouts out to John from the hood. Mr. Gamble. What's good? Detroit in the fucking building. But shout out to John. We already know, man, nigga. We play Gears of War religiously. Part 3. What's good, bro? Chilling, man. Chilling like a James Bond villain. But yeah, They Live is one of the best movies of all time.
Set up a dedicated unit whose only job was to stop spies from one US agency from surveilling spies from another US agency inside a fantasy game. The official justification for this was counterterrorism, and there was some truth in that. The Islamic State once revealed custom modifications of Grand Theft Auto 5 built to recruit fighters and let players reenact real terror attacks.
Yeah. Recruit real fighters and they can reenact terrorist attacks. They're not doing it for real. They in the game clicking up with people like, yo, like, let's go attack that big ass building on some terrorist shit. And the CIA looking at that shit like that's a fucking problem in real life. Nigga, we in a fucking video game. Get the fuck out of here. You know, just so they can create a problem reaction solution scenario on video games make people violent. No. Society makes us violent. Our government will push our backs against the wall to make us violent. Not no video game. This is our escapism. Movies, video games, TV shows, best-selling novels, comic books. Going out into nature, drawing, painting, sculpturing. Nigga, this is escapism. And this is our hobbies. And this is the shit that we love to do outside of fucking you up. You evil, corrupt fucks. Be happy that we're not at your fucking doorstep with a real gun. But I digress. But you're going to make it happen anyway. You're going to make it happen anyway because you're taking away our livelihoods. The price of living is going up. Price of food going up. Gas going up. Everybody's backs are pushed against the wall. And your president just fucking said that he don't give a fuck about our financial struggles. What the fuck are we going to do about that? All you care about is Iran not having a nuclear weapon. Like, nigga, didn't our country just blow up a school full of girls and blamed Iran for them doing it on their own people? This is no same different from the tactic that we used on other motherfuckers for regime changes. We motherfuckers said Gaddafi was fucking over his own people, and he wasn't. We watched that nigga get killed on camera. We watched the regime change happen on live. Our country is evil as fuck, and you wonder why no country around the world really truly fucks with us like that. And you wonder why 60 plus countries banned our type of food. What does that tell you? Our shit is fucking poison. But I digress.
Build playable replicas of terrorist attacks inside Minecraft, used as recruitment material aimed at children. And by the 2020s, the FBI was issuing formal public warnings about groups using Roblox to radicalize, groom, and in some cases coerce kids into harmful acts on camera.
There's a lot of different approaches they take, but always employing some kind of deception, some kind of threat, or promises of money or gifts to get that young person to open up and talk to them.
But there's also a long track history of sensitive military information getting leaked on games or by gamers that show you why the CIA wants a presence here. In April 2023, the most serious US intelligence breach in Snowden surfaced through a Minecraft Discord server called Thug Shaker Central. The leaker was a 21-year-old Massachusetts Air National Guardsman named Jack Teixeira, an intelligence analyst who'd been granted top secret clearance at the age of 19. He'd been photographing classified Pentagon documents on his family kitchen's table and posting them to roughly 40 gamers in his Discord group to win arguments and show off. He was eventually...
Motherfucker was like, oh, you don't believe me? Let me show the documents. Nigga put out the document, screenshotted that shit, sent it back to where his arguments. The fucking CIA was like, oh, hell no. Lock this motherfucker up for giving out trade secrets.
sentenced to 15 years in prison. And it wasn't
15 years.
For years, players of the tank game War Thunder have been leaking genuine classified military documents to win forum arguments about how accurately their tanks are modeled in the game. That list includes the British Challenger 2 tank, the American F-15E Strike Eagle, the AH-64 Apache Technical Manual.
Yeah, and that's that little cell phone tank game shit. Motherfuckers like, man, you don't got the real diagnostics on that real tank. That tank don't exist. Like, yes, the fuck it do. He got the documents and the schematics and all the CIA shit that they told me not to motherfucking tell nobody. Here you go. You stupid motherfucker, you. Nigga, do not try to win an argument over how a fucking tank is. You got yourself locked up for 15 years. Like, what? What? But it's how you know. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Ain't got no privacy. Oh, but what he should have did was not do that. Just take the L. Be like, look, you know the truth. That motherfucker think he know. You got the real schematics. Don't feed into the argument. I know you want to win so bad. Just let it go. Just let the shit go. But the CIA should be telling motherfuckers, hey, yo, don't motherfucker give my schematics to nobody. But I think he got locked up because the schematics could possibly get leaked to the enemy. But how can motherfuckers be the enemy if everybody working together in this new world order shit? You know what I'm saying? That's the mind fuck.
The AV-8B Harrier, multiple Russian and Chinese main battle tanks, and a full 730-page dossier on the Eurofighter Typhoon.
So in July 2021, a player was arguing about the British Challenger 2 main battle tank. To settle the disagreement, they posted basically the tank's operating manual, an action that quickly got the UK Ministry of Defence involved. Then 3 months later, a French player claiming to be a crew member in a Leclerc Serie 2 tank in service since 1992 again got into an argument about the capabilities of their tank, my tank, your tank, and again posted part of the tank's operation manual. Come on, guys!
But what the intelligence community really wants from gaming isn't just what you did inside of it. It's what you believe when you come out. And they might just change the course of someone's life in the time between.
Right. They want to know what you believe when you come out that game. For example, you come out of a motherfucking military game about corruption. What do you think? Okay, do you think your government is corrupt? Or did you get brainwashed into becoming a shooter for the government? That's the only two things I think that they could be thinking. Can we possibly recruit this motherfucker? Child soldiers type shit. Metal Gear Solid.
And nowhere is this more pervasive than in the biggest video game franchise of all time. That franchise is Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the biggest video game franchise in history. It's bigger even than the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And for over 20 years, the US military has helped dictate its content. Since 2005, almost every mainline Call of Duty has employed a Pentagon military advisor.
Yeah. In the video game SOCOM, US Navy SEALs. That's one of my second favorite Army games. My first favorite Army game is Rainbow Six. Then it's then it's SOCOM, and then it goes to Call of Duty. You know, because like real shit, like the first Army game I played, it wasn't even no Call of Duty at all. It was some shit called Conflict Desert Storm, and Medal of Honor had like at least 3 or 4 games at the time. Like I was a fan of those. It was very good and realistic. And then Rainbow Six came out on the Dreamcast, the first one. I was like, whoa, this shit is realistic and scary. Like you get shot one time, you dead. It's like everybody got a golden gun. You get hit one time, you gone. I'm talking about, like real life scenarios. You get to make your own missions and shit, plot your own course. You fuck up, it's on you, And then you got the Rainbow Six 2, the Rainbow Six 3 Lockdown, the Rainbow Six Vegas. I was like, bet it up. Vegas 2. I was like, okay. I couldn't fuck with that Siege. Like, Siege was like 12, 13 missions, and it was mostly on some online shit. I'm like, nigga, I want to have a good solo game. I'm broke. I don't got no money like that for no online shit. Yeah, I said it. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. Fuck Nick Cannon.
As prolific as Hank Kiersey, a retired lieutenant colonel who served in the 82nd Airborne and taught at West Point. He stated his assistance was mostly for the purposes of gameplay and realism.
So I'm able to give the last little bit of fidelity on making sure the game is as close as possible to what you would hear, feel, sound like as a real soldier in a game.
But in so many words, all these military games, there's always a military consultant around. Because when it comes to SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs, they was doing real tactics. So like they had real Navy SEAls to come into the game to show the tactics for the motion capture. They like for the people to really do the shit. Like I played SOCOM 2, 3, and Conflict Assault. I played only 3. But after I played like 3 Medal of Honors. And I think Conflict Desert Storm was his only solo game. I don't think it made any more Conflict Desert Storms.
Warfare came out about 6 hours in. The player reaches a mission set on a road the game calls Tariq Amwat. In English, that means the Highway of Death. It involves a convoy of civilians trying to flee, bombed from the air, and hundreds are dead. In the game, the narrator says it was the Russians.
Try to escape to the mountains. There is only one road. Tariq Amwat, the Highway of Death. The Russians bombed it during the invasion, killing the people trying to escape.
The Highway of Death is a real place. It's a real road in Kuwait leading north towards the Iraqi border. And a real massacre did happen there. But it wasn't in the last few years, and it wasn't the Russians. On the night of February 26, 1991, US-led coalition forces bombed a retreating column of Iraqi soldiers and civilians, trying to escape at the end of the Gulf War. Aircraft disabled the vehicles at the front and rear to trap everyone in between. Then spent hours
sure.
Seymour Hersh later documented a US tank platoon opening fire on 350 surrendered unarmed Iraqi soldiers. The road earned its name because of what the coalition did to it under George H.W. Bush.
Salute, Bronze.
It's all publicly documented. The 2019 Modern Warfare reboot took that event, renamed the attackers, and handed it to the world as an example of what Russia was doing in the present day. This is exactly what the Colonel in Metal Gear Solid 2 described. Not just the control of content, but the control of context. And the loop goes both ways, with COD actively galvanizing interest in US Army recruitment and supporting training.
He also told me it's a great training product. I've had him link the Xboxes together, and the sergeant will actually train his teams with the Modern Warfare game.
Call of Duty Rabbit Hole gets a whole lot stranger though. By 2014, the franchise had released Black Ops and Black Ops 2, and the man who directed both of them was called Dave Anthony. In September 2014, he left Activision and joined the Atlantic Council, one of Washington's most influential foreign policy institutions, funded by Lockheed Martin, NATO, and the US State Department.
Yeah, you left a video game company and joined the powers that shouldn't be. What does that tell you? Motherfucker joined a video game company just to implement what he need to implement, and then start going to work for governments. Like what? Where did he do that at? Talk about a 180 career change from video games to government. Like what? It's same as like Kanye West. Talk about a 180 career change. You went from being a fucking hip hop rapper to a motherfucking fashion guy to the motherfucking court leader. Nah, you're just a crazy nigga on the street rambling about the same shit we've been rambling about forever, and they called us crazy for it. Now, Kanye, you want to come back to the barbecue? Nah, bruh. Take your gold hair ass back to your court group and drop a choir album, my nigga. As a matter of fact, it's the end of the world as we know it. You better grind your motherfucking people together, start building some bomb shelters, and start getting ready to fucking help people. Join the Kanye church. Nigga, when the world end, Kanye's court group is gonna be lit like a motherfucker. This is gonna happen. Like, they're gonna think it's all Christian. Like, I thought you was doing this for God. No, bitch, I'm doing this for me, bitch. I'm Kanye West. Now, seen that Jesus walks one time. Jesus walks. God, show me the way, because the devil's trying to bring me down. Jesus walks. Look, it's gonna be fucked up in that cult group, y'all. Every generation has a cult group. But still to this day, I'm going to always say it. I'm going to always say this. Fuck Kanye West when it comes to that cult shit. Because you know why? Drum roll, please. Mace did it first. Never forget that. It just wasn't successful. Mace did it first, okay? Talk about another 180 career change. You went from rapper to pastor. Then you came back to join G Unit and then disappeared again, start exposing Diddy. Now you have a motherfucking podcast with Cameron. Like, get the fuck out of here. Talk about a 180 career change. But I'm going.
Specifically, he joined the Art of Future War project, hired to imagine new forms of terrorist attacks. For his first conference appearance, Anthony presented a scenario arguing how easy it would be for terrorists to carry out a lone wolf attack on a hotel in Las Vegas.
One of my great fears, which I'm going to use as an example of this, is what would happen if this attack took place.
Yeah, Rainbow Six Vegas was the shit. That Vegas 2 was the shit. I'm like, nigga, we in a hotel with it. Fighting outside with it. Like, oh shit, man. Yo, Vegas was the shit. Rainbow Six Vegas 2 was the shit. I love that motherfucking game. I think I still got that bitch on my Xbox 360. But the fucking bitch might not play. I'm not really sure. But I'm surprised my Resident Evil 6 still played and my Dead or Alive 5. Dead or Alive 5. With the bouncy boobs. And niggas getting their head knocked off.
On our mainland, and I'm going to use Las Vegas as an example, it could be that you have 100 of these guys who may be on our soil right now, who may even be US citizens, who could legally walk into whatever gun store they choose, buy some assault rifles and start attacking soft targets. And that the instability that this would cause to our country would be incredible and immense.
3 years later, on October 1st, 2017, very eerily 3 years to the exact date of that talk getting posted online, a man named Stephen Paddock checked into the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel in Las Vegas and opened fire on a country music festival below. 60 people were killed and 800 wounded, and it remains one of the deadliest and most mysterious mass shootings by a single perpetrator in American history.
Yeah, and it makes me mad because that shit seemed like a fucking psyop. I know motherfuckers are dying for real. But it's just like they create these fucking scenarios to kill like innocent people to instill fear. And then like we find out the truth, it's like, yo, if you're mad at the government, go blast the government. If you're mad at the police, blast the police. If you're mad at any fucking power structure, take them out. You feel me? Don't just go kill innocent fucking people. What, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do these innocent people have to do with your gripes against the government? That's the shit that pisses me off. You know what I'm saying? So it leads back to that motherfucking psyop shit. Are they making this shit to instill fear and they don't give a fuck who they kill in the process to make this shit happen? You know, it's called the serial killer mythos. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you know, in like so many words. Charles Manson, John Gacy, Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, these motherfuckers was created. You know, some saying out there there was agents, some say there was MK Ultra, some say there was a you know, like infiltrated group just to motherfucking, you know, keep the population in fear. And two, to create the copycat so they can go after the so-called real crimes. You know what I'm saying? You know, like basically like do this so somebody can be like, anything he can do, I can do better. I can't do anything better than you. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. Kill a motherfucker. You know, but yeah, our government ain't shit putting up these operations. And, you know, and we can go all the way back to the Tuskegee experiment. We can go back to Mockingbird. We can go back to MK Ultra. You know what I'm saying? Like they're up 24 fucking 7 swing shifts on trying to destroy our lives. And it's time for a revolution. It's a revolutionary channel, everybody. Like if y'all just step in there, I don't know, if I see like 21 people, I'm like, man, this is the most people ever been in my chat. Make sure y'all hit the like button. But you know, like real shit. Like every time I talk about the CIA, these videos always get age restricted. So I'm glad y'all listening and enjoying now before they age restrict my shit and limit this motherfucking content from going everywhere, because that's what they do to my channel. I'm trying to go live early so I don't get kicked out my chat. My chat start buffing. They freeze my chat. They start deleting y'all comments, putting symbols next to y'all comments, changing the words of y'all comments to look different on my end, but y'all know what y'all put over there on y'all end. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and all my other social media accounts like Facebook, Instagram, like I can barely even be on that. I'm in and out of Facebook jail 3 days, 7 days, 30 days. I haven't been live on Instagram for like 4 years on both of my fucking channels. They got rid of my 6 TikTok. They just got rid of my X last year. I ain't had that bitch like 4, maybe 6 months. I'm not really sure. And Rumble is like, what the fuck is up with the slow ass servers? And plus, I can't really go live on that without going through hoops, troops, and loop-de-loops and have a computer. So I'll be like, you know what? Fuck it. you know, like I was just about to leave YouTube maybe like 3-4 days ago. You know, I'm only on YouTube for one person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my UK correspondent. But anyway, shouts out to everybody. Let's get back to it.
Incidentally,
Get up out of here.
Anthony explicitly names Edward Snowden as a villain. Edward Snowden looks like the sort of head of the chess club. And, you know, one individual with technology in the wrong hands and information in the wrong hands can cause massive instability and destabilization to the country these days. And he isn't an outlier. Activision is bristling with people who spent careers in the national security states.
Really?
Meanwhile, it's just the tip of this iceberg. While there are many examples of games created with military consulting, which is fair from an accuracy and gameplay perspective, Full Spectrum Warrior, released on Xbox in 2004, is a more unique case. What looks like a normal retail game was actually a Pentagon training simulator with a civilian skin pulled over the top. There was a cheat code that unlocked the military training build underneath. This is the cheat code itself. When you enter it, an in-game message pops up to tell you this is for the US military only. There are a handful of other obvious titles that were guided by government interests too, like the Tom Clancy series, which reinforced US military dominance while stereotyping numerous other nations as their immoral enemies.
Yep.
But once, the opposite happened. Take Spec Ops The Line, which halfway through forces the player to commit a white phosphorus attack on civilians that was deliberately modeled on a real US war crime in Iraq. Clearly, this did not have Pentagon support.
Hell no, it didn't have Pentagon support. You're putting in a scene where we actually did some evil shit. The Pentagon, the CIA, military, they like that. We don't like that. We can't show us being the bad guys. But sorry, we're the bad guys. Go back to my HHN. You know who the bad guys really are. You know, like shit, man. Come on, man. Fuck the bullshit, man. We just got done bombing a school full of girls, and motherfuckers is trying to sweep that under the rug like that is some fucking good shit that we fucking did. No, the fuck is not. Simple as that. And not only that, you blame the country. Like, what the fuck? They don't have Tomahawk cruise missiles. We're trying to prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon. Oh my fucking God. Someone need to slap the shit out of Trump and shoot him for real. In that order. Slap him and shoot. Or just slap the nigga so hard the toupee fly off.
Then it's suspiciously bombed. The lead writer later said no major publisher would ever fund anything like it again. So when you stop and think about that, games have drifted a long way from their origin.
So So Spec Ops the line crossed the line, and it was like, nigga, we ain't gonna fund that company no more. So like whoever makes Spec Ops the line, shouts out to y'all. Y'all put in a scene in y'all game that made nobody want to fund y'all niggas. That's good. That's good because you don't need to be funded by the bad guys. Your money should come from us, the consumer that buys these games, that loves military games. You know what I'm saying?
As a form of social critique or even political dissent. In the late 90s and 2000s, games like Deus Ex, Metal Gear Solid, Bioshock, and Command & Conquer Red Alert stood toe-to-toe with the best films of their era. They warned us about surveillance states.
Yeah, video games stood toe-to-toe with the best movies of the era. Metal Gear Solid is not a fucking game to me. That bitch is a movie. Deus Ex is not a game to me. That motherfucker's a movie. Like real shit. Final Fantasy. That shit is not a fucking game to me. That shit is a fucking cinematic movie. Beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like, did I say Metal Gear Solid? yeah. Metal Gear, Deus Ex, Bioshock. You know, the fucking games that's telling you that the fucking AI, the CIA, all these powers that be controlling everything. It's like, you know, like they're letting us know. And like when it gets to Metal Gear Solid 2, and it gets to that scene, you know, like we're not trying to create content, we're trying to create context. We're, you know, like we're shaping the world. We're, you know, like we're shaping you and we're shaping the world. You know, and it's, you know, like that scene in Metal Gear Solid 2, I might play it after this. That shit was scary because I didn't know what was going on at the time, but I felt that something was not right about our society, you know. But like when I got older and I played it again, after long research, going through some shit, I'm like, man, this game is profound. There's a profound moment in gaming right here because we're going through that shit right now.
Industrial corruption, the dangers of unchecked AI, and the moral cost of war. They didn't just entertain you, they argued with you, and critically, they challenged your worldview. Snowden has said that he played Metal Gear Solid as a teenager, and that this affected how he came to think about how governments would spy on their populations. Even Call of Duty was once more willing to push into uncomfortable territory. In Modern Warfare 2 back in 2009, the player goes undercover with a Russian ultra-nationalist terror cell that then massacres civilians at a Moscow airport. At the end of the mission, the cell's leader kills the undercover American operative, and then leaves his body behind, making it look like the US carried out the attack. The attack is a false flag designed to frame the United States and trigger a war with Russia. The mission was infamously called No Russia. But you've got to notice the boundary it never crosses. The US isn't behind the attack. The player is placed inside the atrocity, but the responsibility is still with the enemy despite it being deliberately provocative. By 2019, that line had hardened. The ambiguity was stripped away. The enemies made clearer. And in that one case, a real-world US military action was reworked into something attributed to Russian forces. Today, the biggest games on the planet do something close to the opposite of what they once did. They model real US military hardware in extreme detail. The enemies reinforce an orchestrated worldview. They then get reviewed for the realism of their gunplay, not the seriousness of their politics, and the quality has dropped through the floor. Who can remember being excited by Call of Duty release, or any big game title release at all? Probably one of the few major games that effectively parodizes and criticizes America is GTA, because the studio Rockstar North is based in Scotland. While manipulating games and their narratives have clearly been a top priority for decades, at other times the strategy has been much more deliberate and intentional. There's another game deliberately engineered over decades to recruit people, more specifically young people and kids, into the armed forces. In July 2002, the US Army released a video game called America's Army. It's not only a game about the Army, it's a game by the Army. Free to download, free to play, funded with tens of millions of US taxpayer dollars, and designed from the ground up as a recruitment tool for teenagers.
Yeah, they made a video game as a recruitment tool. Yeah. Creating child soldiers. But let's go deeper. Pause. We learn how to shoot at the earliest age of probably 2 and 3. You know why? Have any of y'all played with water guns before? Oh yeah. I know y'all probably understand that's some childhood shit and you know it's kid and it's playful shit, but no. We used to motherfucking shoot each other with water guns, dart guns, cap guns, pellet guns. We used to play cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians. We've been learning how to shoot since they put that water gun in our hand as a kid. Then you get older, you play video games. And then if society's fucked up and you living fucked up, chances are you might join the fucking army or join the Navy or the Marines or the Air Force. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you can see it from birth. You can see it from birth. But anyway, that's just me. Maybe I looked into it too deeply. But I'm saying, like, we learned how to shoot at the age of 2.
And it worked. US Army surveys found that by 2008, the game had more impact on recruiting than any other form of Army advertising combined. 1 in 5 military academy cadets entering West Point in 2005 had played the game before enlisting. The US military is legally barred from enlisting anyone under 17. America's Army was built to start the marketing conversation much earlier, which they themselves admitted. The guy who designed that game was called Casey Wadniski, who allegedly wrote the following: America's Army was explicitly designed to target 12 and 13-year-old boys who had yet to decide what to do with their lives.
12 to 13-year-old boys that had yet to decide what to do in their life. One, you're 12 and 13. You're supposed to be just focused on school, getting an education. Yes, it's around that time you could be thinking about who you want to be, but at the same time, we still don't even know who the fuck we want to be. 12 or 13, we still want to be a fucking wrestler, probably a UFC fighter. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm speaking on the times I was growing up. 12, 13, you either want to be a fucking wrestler, a fighter, or Spider-Man. Or you want to be around girls, or you want to fucking rap or play basketball. Ain't nobody thinking about the military. We're trying to motherfucking maintain popularity in school and get our homework done. We're not thinking about shooting a motherfucker in the face. We want to do that on the video games because it seems like we understand what escapism is as a teenager. You know, but in this day and age, it's understandable that a motherfucker might want to go shoot some shit. We live in the crazy times right now. So, you know, but at the same time, motherfuckers are not doing it because this is our escapism. So they doing this just to get maybe one person a year, 2 people a year to get recruited. I don't know. Because you already didn't find no terrorists, which means this is about recruiting.
It then shut down in 2022 after 20 years, but by then, the recruitment strategy had already moved with the times and ventured onto social media. In late 2018...
Yeah, now they're recruiting through social media.
US Army then entered Generation Z by opening up an official Twitch channel. The Navy and the Air Force followed. Recruiters, soldiers in uniform paid by the taxpayer started spending their working days playing Call of Duty and Fortnite on livestream, all just happily chatting with the audience. And the audience was mostly children. To pull kids...
And the audience were mostly children. I find that disturbing. Whether if you're recruiting or grooming. Bars.
And the channel ran what looked like giveaways for free stuff, except the link didn't go to a contest. It went to a military recruitment form, and there were no winners.
A giveaway link, which then redirected without any further details of the contest, which was supposedly for an Xbox Series 2 Elite controller. Once they redirected to the giveaway page, though, it was a sign-up for the recruitment form and to be directed by a recruitment officer. Without any further details of the past winners of the contest,
gamers started doing speedrun competitions to see who could get banned by the US Army the fastest. Twitch eventually went to war with the US Army, ordering them to stop running the fake giveaways because they violated gambling laws. But it still happens on a smaller scale today. Up until now, the agency's influence in gaming has mostly been about guns and war, but it actually hides in some really unsuspecting places, including in benign games that don't even look American. In July 2016, a mobile game launched that got 1 billion people to walk outside, point their phone cameras at their own streets, and then send the footage back to a server. If you didn't play it yourself, you know people who did. That game was Pokemon Go. It was developed by Niantic, a company founded by a former US State Department official. So if you thought this game was a Japanese export, you were wrong. Before Niantic, that official had run a satellite mapping startup called Keyhole. And in February 2003, Keyhole received early-stage funding from In-Q-Tel, the venture capital arm of the CIA. The Q is a reference to Q from James Bond. Within weeks of the CIA's investment, Keyhole's mapping software was used by the Pentagon to brief US military commanders on bombing targets in Iraq. Google eventually acquired the company in 2004 for $35 million and renamed the software Google Earth. Pokemon Go launched with more daily users than Twitter within a week. Every street, every park, every schoolyard all scanned and sent to the server with full user permissions. The US Energy Department got worried enough to call Niantic directly because Pokestops had started appearing inside top secret nuclear facilities. The IDF even banned soldiers from playing Pokemon Go in July 2016 after Pokestops and Pokemon spawned inside active military bases. Submariners crewed in the UK's nuclear submarines weren't allowed to play the game because it gave away their position. At its peak, Pokemon Go would have revealed more about top secret locations than the world's most powerful satellite imagery systems. It was nothing short of an international espionage crisis delivered in the form of the most harmless game imaginable. And this cuts right to the heart of why gaming is an amazing tool for intelligence.
Yeah. If y'all didn't understand what y'all just heard, what he said was when Pokemon Go came out, in so many words, we was the ones that surveilled ourselves, our streets, our blocks, wherever we was at, to catch fucking Pokemon. We gave away our position. We put in a whole bunch of other positions and created a fucking map. And what they also said, the shit was so fucking compromised, it would have gave away the position, so soldiers couldn't even play Pokemon Go. And Pokemon that they wanted to catch, I guess the stronger ones or the most legendary ones, they was in military secret facilities. And the shit would have gave away the position to the enemy. Now, I think I covered this on the HHN. Now, you think the fucking program stopped of them having our surveillance and our data of where we be? Nope, they kept that shit. They kept that shit and made a fucking worldwide map to track us. We became our own Google Earth on that shit. Pokemon Go was crazy. That first week was wild. That first week was wild. A nigga got arrested. Driving on the freeway, right? He drove on the freeway. Stopped on the freeway during, y'all know how freeway traffic is. This motherfucker got out his car. The fucking sheriff or the state trooper pulled up, said, "What the fuck going on?" This motherfucker said, "I'm trying to catch a motherfucking Pikachu." Nigga, I'm done. Pokemon Go also led motherfuckers to find dead bodies. Yeah. Go into an area for a Pokemon, you come across a dead fucking body. Nigga, I was done. Pokemon Go was no better than Randonautica. Remember during the scamdemic, motherfuckers was playing this game called Randomnautica? You motherfucker go to a place, you find the mysterious items and dead bodies and motherfuckers following you and shit. I'm like, nigga, what? I think the government created that shit to motherfucker kidnap people. Or I think criminals made that shit to motherfucker get someone else to find the dead body and report it. Randonautica was weird. Look that shit up. That shit disappeared right after the scamdemic disappeared. What a coincidence. And I don't believe in coincidences.
It's an interactive Trojan horse that no one suspects.
What up, though, bro?
Many countries banned the game outright or called it a spy front.
What's good, Charles?
In 2024, a Niantic executive was asked on camera whether the company's large geospatial model, meaning a 3D map of the real world built from a decade of Pokemon Go player footage, could then be sold to governments and militaries. Listen to his answer.
Could you see militaries, governments seeking to use LGMs and
Like, I don't know how to extend the beat. You might have to probably add the beat again and do some cutting. You might have to cut up like a part of the beat and drag in the other part of the beat of where it's supposed to be cut at. That's the only manual thing I know. But like I was gonna I was gonna write like a little short hook for you. But you said you did a final verse. So I was like, oh shit. You might as well make that a solo joint. You might as well make that a solo joint. It sounds more of a solo joint too. Shout out to Phenom for the beat. Like I thought I rapped on that beat, but I didn't. Cause I rapped on so many motherfucking Phenom beats. I thought I rapped on that one, but I didn't. So you good. You good. Cool beat too. Do you have a verse already done? Nope. Nope. I was working on a song. I just got done doing a song called Baby Get Up on It. I just got done doing a song. But nobody write nothing for it. Like I was gonna get to it, but like you said, you already done. I was like, fuck it. Just drop it. Drop the track. Just drop the track, Charles. Drop the solo joint. Because you were saying some real powerful shit on it. And I know you be trying to fit all the words. You be trying to fit all the words in the track. You might have to take some words out your verses sometimes. Because I learned that too. Like that was one of my constructive criticisms. I was trying to fit everything I wanted to say in the verse until I realized some of the small words didn't need to be in it. Like some of the smaller words, like the unneeded words, like unneeded words and shit. And and I kind of, I learned some shit in school, like try not to say shit too many times, like like double words, like within the same type of bar, some shit like that. You could do it once or twice if you're clever, and you got a nice style with it, but Charles, you got it, dog. Your message is clear. Your message is clear, bro. Every time you rap, there's a message behind every bar. So that's great. That's fucking great. The verse I did over is way better than the one you heard. Bet it up. I believe that. I can't wait to hear it, bro. Just drop the shit. Just drop the track. Drop the track and invite me to another. Shit. Like I'm still looking for a track for us too. I'm just trying to find something that like matches your style. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to it.
From you. I could definitely see it.
I could definitely see it. That's pretty ominous when you remember that the company at the center of it was 3 degrees removed from the CIA and its investors. While the CIA's fingerprints on Pokemon Go are oblique, traceable only through corporate history and venture capital filings, another game developer's story is much more direct, because there are very human consequences to the geopolitical side of gaming, the same as there was for Gary DeVore, who was found at the bottom of a ravine with his hands chopped off when he was making a film about exposing top US officials. This story ends with the developer in a cell on the other side of the world on television confessing to things he says he didn't do. He only just scraped his way out of the situation alive. His name is Amir Hekmati, born in Arizona in 1983 to Iranian-American parents. He served 4 years as a US Marine. After leaving the military, he worked as a contractor on projects for the US Department of Defense, including consulting on Arabic language content for a New York-based video game studio called Kuma Games. Kuma made a free-to-play first-person shooter called Kuma War. It was a strange, controversial product. Every few weeks, Kuma released a new playable mission recreating a real US military operation, often within days of it happening, like killing Osama bin Laden, which you can see here.
Oh.
Kuma weirdly held a Pentagon contract to develop training and strategic communication materials for the US Department of Defense. In August 2011, Hekmati flew to Tehran.
No, see, it's not too short if you treat it as a interlude. It's not short if you treat it as an intro, and it's not short if you treat it as an outro. Remember that. It's like, it's like when you feel that you done, then you done. But if you feel that you need to add more, add more. You know what I'm saying? Just follow your heart when it comes to this music shit. Just follow your heart. No matter have to be short or long. It is, me personally, I'm used to rapping 3 verses on each track. I'm used to getting beats that's 3.5, sometimes 4 minutes long. Over time, beats start getting shorter. So I'm just flowing with the beat. I'm flowing with the beat. Bro, there we go.
His grandmother, He had never been to Iran before. 2 weeks into the trip, while visiting his aunt, he was arrested by Iranian intelligence officers. He said he was interrogated for up to 20 hours a day, and according to his testimony, beaten with batons, tasered repeatedly, administered drugs without his consent, and told his family would be killed if he didn't cooperate.
So I tried my best to, keep my head up and withstand all the pressures that were put upon me, some of which were very inhumane and unjust.
And then in December 2011, Iranian state television broadcast a videotaped confession and sentenced him to death for espionage. The sentence was overturned on appeal, and he was finally released in January 2016 as a part of the prisoner swap. The details surrounding the whole situation remain mysterious today.
I was at a point where I had just sort of accepted the fact that I was going to be spending 10 years in prison. So this was a surprise, and I just feel extremely blessed to see my government do so much for me and the other Americans.
At some point, you've got to ask where all of this is heading, because gaming is linked to intelligence operations is now in the process of coming full circle. Games offer a unique field of intervention, as we both interact with them and consume them. They also directly and indirectly train people in the art of modern warfare, and the indirect part is almost more nefarious. Joe Rogan and Theo Von discussed how movies helped engage soldiers' instincts to shoot to kill.
So in World War I, people were shooting, but they weren't shooting at the actual enemy. And so then they realized, well, we've got to do something about that. And so after that, they started creating all these really patriotic war movies where the guys are heroes. So then the next group of people that go to war are all going to be indoctrinated with these films.
And arguably, however, games did much more work here. The military started using part of modern warfare, and the indirect part is almost more nefarious. Joe Rogan and Theo Von discussed how movies helped engage soldiers' instincts to shoot to kill.
So in World War I, people were shooting, but they weren't shooting at the actual enemy. And so then they realized, well, we've got to do something about that. And so after that, they started creating all these really patriotic war movies where the guys are heroes. So then the next group of people that go to war are all going to be indoctrinated with these films.
And arguably, however, games did much more work here. The military started using game-type software and Xbox controllers for drone strikes in the mid-2000s, and it was a deliberate planned move. The Pentagon even openly explained why they made that choice. A leading defense researcher, P.W. Singer, put it plainly in 2009 in his book Wired for War. Quote, "You have a generation coming in that's already been trained in their use, so they learn very quickly." A UN special investigator, Philip Alston, looked at the setup and described it as a risk of, quote, "developing a PlayStation mentality to killing." And just look at how it's progressed. Militaries around the world are actively developing systems that automatically generate targets from surveillance data. Every person inside a given population gets a score. The software can pick who lives and who dies. A human might spend a few seconds reviewing the recommendation before it's approved, but that loop is getting closed all the time. It is quite literally the video game the whole industry has been moving toward for 40 years, and the people who would one day run the system could have been training since childhood without even realizing it. Slowly but surely, the Overton window of cyber warfare has creaked open, leading us to a future that those 2000 cyberpunk dystopias warned us about.
We are trying to create a system that observes everyone and judges everyone in a way that we already know is not fair. It is not used properly. It is not used appropriately. It is not used effectively. And I believe does more harm than good. And why are we trying to create a system that sees everything that we do and judges us, which is effectively trying to invent God, when we know that it is a dark and vengeful one? We need to think about the kind of technologies that we are putting in place that rule us, but we do not effectively control. You can't awaken someone who's pretending to be asleep.
That's the line Snowden closed his last long interview on. He took it from a friend who told him it was an old Native American saying. It means you can shout as loudly as you want to someone, but if they decided not to hear you, you'll never get through to them. The story the public got about mass surveillance was absorbed.
Yep, you can shout the truth, the revolution to everyone, but if they don't want to hear you, shit, fuck them. This is why I say, shit, anybody ain't down with the revolution, it's target practice to me. Don't say I'm overreacting, I'm overthinking. Don't say I'm doing too much. Nope. We need a revolution, and we need a revolution now.
Repackaged and moved on from. The strategy behind it didn't shrink. It evolved exponentially. It implemented cutting-edge cameras. It wrote smarter software. It created friendlier interfaces. It entered every corner of our lives. The television, the console next to it, the monitor, the laptop, the controller in your hand, the headset on your head, the friends in the chat, the map of your house, the face on the camera, the voice on the mic. They built the world you play in. And so while you were playing it, they were learning everything about you. They turned one of the last bastions of hope and freedom into yet another field of intervention. And in the end, after all of it is said and done, the most dangerous game ever made probably wasn't the one you played, it was the one playing you.
Yep. And with that being said, shouts out to everybody coming through. I might be back later, But working on some more music. Gotta chop up some more videos. Like probably do some cleaning. Probably clean up a little bit. And then I'll be back. Shouts out to everybody coming through. I think I got another video. I was supposed to talk about King Charles. I might talk about that probably briefly later. I'm not really sure. But shouts out to everybody coming through. This is CIA in video games. These motherfuckers are diabolical. HHN special stories. We out. Peace. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Charles, my homeboy from the hood, my homeboy John. You already know, Detroit guy. And salute TNB with Monkey Man. Salute Bronze. And salute everybody that came in the chat. It was up to like 21 people. You know what I'm saying? It was up to 21 people, and they ain't even hit the like button. But like, I think 6 people probably hit the like button. I see 5 likes. But I had like 20-some people in this bitch. I guess some of them were CIA. I wouldn't be surprised if this fucking shit get age restricted, like all the CIA videos I did. I always make a community post saying the motherfucking shit go to motherfucking age restricted. But anyway, shout out to everybody coming through. Catch y'all on the playback. Peace. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace. HHN Special Stories.